So what makes a book a 5-star? Like, is it a certain criteria? Is it a feeling that you get? And for me, I think 5 stars are definitely a feeling that you get. And it's like a feeling where you are just reading this specific book and you're turning the page and you keep turning and you keep turning, and next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. and you have not ate, and you need to go to bed and you have work the next day, and you're like, what, I want to keep reading. So then you just keep reading, and then you're just struggling the next day and you're so tired, but you're like, you know what, I don't regret a thing. But anyways, for me, a 5-star is a feeling for sure. I have a few 5-star reads this year so far. I wanted to sit and talk about my 5-star reads so far this year, and I'm also going to include some books that were not necessarily like 5 stars, but got really, really, really close. Let's see what my 5-star books are this year. And if any of these books are also your 5-star books, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you hate some of my 5-star reads, also let me know, because I am just genuinely curious, and you know, books are subjective and I would love to see if you hate them. Obviously this is going to mostly be my 5-star reads because that's literally the title of this video, but I also wanted to incorporate some books that got really, really close to 5 stars. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be talking about is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I read this book on my Kindle. It's part of the Wicked Games series by her, and the first book is Phantasma. So basically Genevieve is just trying to find her family more information about where she came from, and in doing so, on her little adventure that she takes, she stumbles across this mansion, also meets this family called the Silver family. She meets Roland and he's immediately like grumpy, so it's kind of giving like this sunshine and grumpy kind of vibe to it. And basically Genevieve came at the worst possible time, because the moment she steps into this mansion, she cannot get out because they are about to start this game that they do every year called The Hunt. So now Genevieve is part of this game and she does not know how to get out of it. But the only way that she could potentially get out of this alive is if she partners up with somebody, which also equals marrying somebody. So obviously you kind of know where that's going. They had like such good banter that was making me laugh so hard, and the story overall is just really interesting and really good. If you liked Phantasma, definitely pick up Enchantra, because I think it's just so much better, honestly. And yes, this book is also very spicy, but I didn't really care. It didn't really bother me that much. I think it probably had less than the first one, but I honestly don't remember. Okay, and the next book I want to talk about that wasn't exactly a 5, but it was really, really close, was actually Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Obviously, if you've read The Hunger Games, you know what this book is about. It's about Haymitch's games, and just going back and seeing what he went through and why he is the way he is in the first Hunger Games trilogy. It's a very emotional book. Like, it made me cry. I loved all the characters in this, and I cannot wait to see the movie. And I feel like I can't talk about this book that much without like spoiling things, but the writing in it was really reminiscent of the first book, and that was part of why I enjoyed this so much. It was just very easy to read, very easy to follow through, and just the events that happen in this book are honestly like devastating. It really makes you understand Haymitch's character, which is something I really, really needed, because when I was reading the Hunger Games trilogy, I just didn't love Haymitch, right? And I was just like, why is this dude the way he is, right? But now I know. Now I'm really like excited and scared for the movie to come out, because I think I'm going to cry all over again. Next book that I want to talk about, this is the last book that is not a 5 stars, but again, it got really, really close, and I read this kind of way back in February, and that is Daydream by Hannah Grace. I feel like I don't talk about this book that much. Honestly, I really, really, really enjoyed this. This is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series. I really don't know if she's doing more, but I really, really want her to. This was definitely my favorite book in the series, and I feel like a lot of people said it was kind of boring, and I really have to disagree. I really loved Henry and Hallie. Basically, they come up with this agreement to kind of help each other, and that's kind of how it starts out, and they just end up like becoming really close friends, and then eventually they become lovers. And there's just a lot of things that Henry is going through that Hal helps him with, and then there's a lot of things that she's going through that Henry helps her with, and it's just a very sweet story, honestly. It is also pretty spicy, so there is that, but it was still just a really, really cute love story, and I really liked following them. And it was just interesting to compare Henry's character described in the first 2 books versus this one, because Henry comes across as this very, like, you know, always knows what to say, always knows what to do in any sort of situation. But in this one, you get in his head and you kind of just get to see his, like, thinking of how he deals with, you know, certain situations. And honestly, I felt bad for him. I honestly did, but this was just such a cute love story. And honestly, out of all of the characters, I think these 2 are like endgame for sure, because they just complement each other very well, I think. If you like the friends to lovers trope, definitely pick this up. Okay, and now to get to my 5-star reads, and these are in no particular order at all, because honestly, I don't remember what order I read these books in. That is Caught Up by Liz Tomford. Okay, it's my first single dad trope. Basically, our main character, Kai, he is on this very famous baseball league, and he's been trying to find a babysitter for his really young child. I think he's about 2 or 3 or something like that. He is really struggling trying to find somebody to watch his kid, because obviously he has to attend these games and practices and stuff, and he needs help. So basically, his boss's daughter gets involved, and she ends up being the one to be kind of the nanny, and it's just a romance following them. That it's got that nanny trope and single dad trope. So I had never read these tropes at all. So I was a little bit nervous of how I was gonna like the nanny trope, especially the single dad trope, because I didn't really have an opinion on kids in books. I don't know what it is, but it's just the way that she wrote these characters. It's like you can relate to these characters. No matter how different they are, you can still like relate to them. That's how I kind of felt with Miller, because she really just had a lot of internal struggles of how she wanted to just make everyone around her happy, especially like her dad, and she just really wanted people to be proud of her, and just learning a lot about her and learning a lot about Kai. And the banter was really good, really top notch. I just really loved the book. I had such a good time reading it. I read it all in one sitting, and it was just a really great and fast-paced read. Even though the book was really long, it was like really fast-paced, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Okay, the next books I want to talk about is actually a trilogy, okay? That is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. These books, the Once Upon a Broken Heart series is basically about this girl named Evangeline Fox, and she wants to have her happy ever after, and she learns that the boy that she's in love with is getting married to somebody else, so she goes to the Prince of Hearts for help, and basically she makes a deal with him. With every fairy bargain comes, you know, a consequence, and, you know, fairies tend to twist things around for their own enjoyment, honestly. It's so fast-paced, it's so good to me, and I understand when people say sometimes these books are, like, too fast-paced, but honestly, I really, really enjoyed it, because I'm somebody that kind of needs to have something happening every second, because I will get distracted. It's just very fairy tale, it's very magical, there's like an adventure, there's romance, there's mystery, there's so much in these books, and you need to read the series. Okay, and the next book that is a 5-star is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and I knew that this was going to be a 5-star, because this book is literally The Selection and The Cruel Prince and Regency, like all in one. This story follows Ivy, and her season is coming up. Basically, she has to find like a suitor, and that's what they call the season. The girls that are eligible, they go and they try to find suitors, but this year it's different, because the prince, whose name is Prince Bram, he's ready to find a wife. So it's kind of very, very reminiscent to The Selection, but it's like a Fae version of it, because Prince Bram is also Fae, and then the queen in this world is Fae. And I forgot to mention that Prince Bram also has a brother named Emmett, and he kind of is involved in this a little bit. Him and Ivy basically come up with this agreement that he is going to help her win Prince Bram's heart, and obviously in doing so, things start to happen between Emmett and Ivy, right? Obviously you have the competition aspect of it, and then you have the love triangle, and then also you have like this little bit of mystery bit, because there is like a mystery surrounding Lydia, Ivy's older sister. And I am so excited for the second book to come out. I have no idea how long this series is going to be. It's definitely in like my top reads of the year. I'm gonna have to figure out what my #1 book is gonna be, which is gonna be so hard. But yeah, this is definitely up there. I just had so much fun reading this, and this was definitely something that checks all my boxes for a 5-star. Okay, we just have 3 books left to talk about, and this one is also part of a series, so I can't really talk about it too much, but you guys probably know Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is a big book. Obviously, as you know, this is the 3rd book in the Powerless trilogy, and I'm sure you guys have already heard the whole spiel on what Powerless is about, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I think that this book was almost better than the first. I think the first book is definitely like something I'll always remember because it just kind of unlocked my love for like dystopian books and things like that, because this is kind of a dystopian fantasy vibe. I don't know, I felt like we just got a lot more information in this book, but it wasn't like a big info dump from beginning to end. There was always something happening and something going on, just always kept on my toes. And obviously, if you guys read this book, it's a little bit heartbreaking, honestly, but I cannot wait for Fearful to come out. I actually already pre-ordered it because hopefully we're gonna get a little bit more information and just explanations on things. Part of me though feels like there was something in this book that should have happened differently, and I've kind of felt like that about it for a while now, but it doesn't change that this is a 5-star book for me. Honestly, all the books in the series are 5 stars. And the next one I'm going to be talking about, I feel like I talk about this book all the time. Actually, I already mentioned it in this video if you heard. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I feel like a lot of people don't like this book, and I get it. Well, sometimes I don't get it, but basically this book follows our main character Jude, and she has 2 sisters. Something happens to Jude's parents and they are put into the fairy world, and it's very interesting because you would think that at this point Jude would want to go back to the human world. Jude does not. Jude actually wants to become Fae, and she wants to so badly that she is like really wanting to become part of the court, and she really wants to prove herself. So with that, she has to train, and in doing so, she has to defy Prince Carden, get him to accept her as well, and Prince Carden hates her. Hates her. There's barely romance in this book, I will say. There's not a lot of romance going on, but the pieces that you get is so good. There's this part where Jude finds like this notebook in like Carden's like study or whatever, and literally I was crying. And the last book, okay, this comes as like a big surprise to me, okay? Because at first, I did not like the first book, but this book kind of unlocked my love for this series, and that is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I feel like a lot of people know about this series already, so I'm not gonna explain it, but obviously it follows Shannon and Johnny, right? Shannon's backstory is, and like her story that happens to her is very devastating and very crazy and like drama filled. These books are super character driven, which I think was something that I didn't like about Binding 13. Like usually there's like a specific plot that you're following, but the plot is the characters, so you're following the characters, right? There is just so much going on that this book the entire time kept me on my toes, and I was scared for them. Like I was so scared for Shannon, and I was so stressed. I'm stressed thinking about it, honestly. I just have this love for the characters now. Like I can't wait to read more books in this series. Like I want to read Saving Six so bad, but I just need to read it. Like, I know it's not a part of my TBR, but honestly, maybe I should just read it. Anyways, that's it. I seriously don't know what she puts in these that makes you, like, want to keep turning the page. Wow, that was really quick. Okay, so definitely let me know if any of these books are 5 stars for you guys. I feel like that there are definitely some that are also 5 stars for you guys. And if not, you know, if you hate any of these books, let me know. I'm kind of curious. I love to discuss books, and obviously books are subjective, so not everyone is going to agree with your book taste. So it's just really interesting to see what other people think about, you know, your favorite books. So anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sorry that this video seemed so, like, rushed. I just needed to do videos so we wouldn't skip this week, but definitely next week I have a really exciting video planned. Definitely stay tuned for that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!